Hi, my name is John McKenzie. I am with Flow Analytics, and I'm joined by my colleague, Kate Doran, also with Flow Analytics. We're going to be talking to you today about ArcGIS Online and how you can use it to save your organization some money. And we're specifically going to be discussing some of the lesser known features of AGO. So thank you to everyone for joining us. I'm really happy to be doing this webinar. This is a topic that I think is really valuable for organizations. Several years ago, I was someone who had an ArcGIS desktop license, but I had no idea that it came with an AGO subscription. And when I discovered that it did, it was really a game changer for our organization, just with all the features and the tools that come with it. I also know that the platform can be overwhelming at times. I use and I still learn about new features and things it can do on a regular basis. So I know it can be difficult to navigate the platform just because there is so much it can do. So I just want to tell you a little bit about our company, Flow Analytics. We are experts in the design and implementation of GIS solutions. And really what that means is that we are a GIS company. All our employees are dedicated to GIS and spatial analytics, GIS analysts, GIS managers, GIS developers. And most of our employees do have advanced degrees in GIS. So we really focus on staying on top of the latest GIS tools, processes, and things like that. We're not tied to any proprietary software or tools. We aren't licensed resellers, even though I'm going to be talking to you about AGO and we think it's a great tool. We are not, licensed ArcGIS or Esri resellers or anything like that. We really work with a vast group of clients. We work with some very small towns as well as very big cities. The smallest city we've worked with is a rural town in eastern Washington with a population around 300 or 400, the city of Harrington. And the largest city we've been working with lately is Philadelphia, which is, a lot bigger. The majority of organizations that we work with, or cities and towns, have a population between about 10 and 50,000. So, when it comes to working with organizations and municipalities, we really do work with every department. And one of our biggest focuses is breaking down those data silos and facilitating interdepartmental data integration so that everyone can access data they need. And even when we are working with a specific department, we're always thinking about how that data might need to be accessed in the future by the other departments.
So today we're going to cover how to set up ArcGIS Online for your organization if you have not done that yet. We're going to go over the tools that we think are the most helpful to use in ArcGIS Online and show you interesting examples of how to use these tools in your work and what the potential cost savings of using ArcGIS Online can be. If you already have ArcGIS desktop licenses or ArcGIS Pro licenses, ArcGIS Online is free. You already have access to it. This includes all the tools we're going to talk about in this presentation. So the first step is to have your ArcGIS administrator request an AGO subscription from Esri. They will then set up the organization account for your organization and then add other members who might need access to the account that are in your organization that use ArcGIS and want access to ArcGIS Online, and then you can start using the tools. So to set up ArcGIS Online, you go to the organization screen. So you click on settings, and that will take you to a settings screen for you to enter in your organization information. So once you've entered in your organization name, your logo, you can add other information about your organization. After you've set this up, the only thing that you need from here on out is the content tab. So from the content tab, there are two main things that you can do. There's other things you can do, but we're going to focus on these two main things. This will get you 95% of the way through using ArcGIS Online tools. So you can add items to your ArcGIS Online. So you can add them from your computer or from a URL. That's, include shapefiles that you want to put on your maps. And then you can create tools. So you can create story maps, web app builders. So you're going to toggle between those two buttons, and that's basically all you need to know on the content tab itself. The map tools we are going to cover today are online map viewers and web mapping applications, which are actually two different things in ArcGIS Online, and we'll talk about the difference. But since we are getting into more than maps, we're also going to talk about story maps, dashboards, open data portals, websites, and surveys, which are other tools that ArcGIS Online has that you can use. So the difference between a map viewer and a web mapping application: the map viewer, you can upload a shapefile and go view the shapefile, and you're looking at a map viewer. So you're reviewing your spatial data, you can add layers, you can change the symbology. It's really for, sharing with your internal team, answering questions. It's a very basic map with layers on it. A web mapping application allows you to add buttons, they're called widgets in ArcGIS Online, to the interface, like filter the data, print the map. It allows people to use the map more interactively. You can add things like logos, colors, fonts, so it looks like it's a piece of your website. And this is really for sharing data with a wider audience, like the public, staff in other departments, other partner organizations that might be interested in the data. So it's really a more polished look at a web map. So this is a difference visually between two types of, or a map viewer and a web mapping application. So for the state of Connecticut, we made a kind of a COVID health information web map, and you can see the map viewer on the left is where we set up all of the data and the symbology, and then we bring that map into the center of the web mapping application, and then add more information, summary statistics, legend, logo, all of that. So it's a lot more of a polished map viewer than just, a layers list like you have on the left. So to set up a map viewer, it's very easy. You go to that add item button that we talked about and say from your computer, add in a shapefile. And then when you click on the shapefile in the content page, you will see open in map viewer, and you click on that, and that takes you to the map viewer. And then in the map viewer, you can change symbology, configure pop-up windows, add layers to the map, change the base map, save the whole map to your content tab. So you're just coming in from one shapefile, but if you add other things to it, you can save it to your content tab as its own map, and then you can share it with others. So John is going to walk you through creating a web mapping application, which is a little bit more work than setting up a web map.
Great, so thank you. Yeah, now once you've created a web map, you're ready to build the additional features and turn it into a mapping application. So back on the content page, you will click the Create button and select Web App Builder. Under the theme heading, there are several different layout and styling options to choose from. After selecting your theme, you can select the map you'd like in your application. In addition to choosing your own maps, you could also build an application around maps from other departments that have been shared with you, or even public maps from other organizations. So think about state data or things like that. And then finally, you can add and configure the widgets you'd like to include in the application. There's a set of standard widgets that come with each theme, and you can add more widgets by simply clicking the gray boxes at the bottom. When you click a gray box, you will see the full menu of widgets you can add to your app. As you can see, there are quite a lot to choose from. And lastly, you just save your application and launch it. So let's take a quick look at an example of an AGO web mapping application. I'm going to quickly show you the AGO tax parcel viewer, and this is a standard AGO template. So this is something you can configure on your own for your own city or town. So let's take a quick look here. And just a second while I get this up and running. Bring it over. So if you wanted to launch this, you would go and open the tax viewer here. And this is just an example. And as you can see, it's a pretty basic parcel map. And over here, you can search for an address. And there's some other tools that you could use here. And if you zoom in and click on a parcel, so if I just were to, let's just zoom in here and then click on a parcel, you'll see that all of the other data is available right there that that you can access. So you can get some information about the tax distribution, the assessed land value, and you can customize this for your own town. So if these weren't the features or the attributes that you wanted to include or that were relevant to your tax parcels, you could certainly add those as well. Up here, you'll notice we have a tool. And this widget is for, I believe this is a widget for a public notification tool. And with that, you could also set a radius and very quickly identify all the parcels that are within a certain radius of this parcel. And so this could be very useful if you needed to send out public notifications to people in the neighborhood or something like that. And so now I think Kate is going to talk to you about story maps.
Yes. So we've covered web map viewers and web mapping applications and widgets and the kind of difference between those two. So the next thing we are going to cover is ArcGIS Online story maps. So we're going to go back to that content tab again and choose story maps from the create list. And that will set you up with a prompt for what kind of story map you want to create. So they really enable you to not only share maps and data, but narrative text, photos, other content, charts, videos, other embedded items, websites, and you can pull it all together into one story that tells a narrative about your data or your maps or your project to get other people learning more about the work that you're doing. So we recently did a project for the Washington Farmland Trust. So they rebranded from the PCC Farmland Trust to the Washington Farmland Trust this summer. And they wanted a story map that would tell the story of this process, why they rebranded, and what their new focus is going to be. So we included narrative text, like you can see, photos, charts, maps, interactive dashboards, and really put this all in, this is their embedded website, into this one story for them that allows the users to really go in and understand their process, kind of get behind their new brand and the new direction that they're going in. So it was really interesting to pull this story together for them. But you can see it's much more of a narrative than just looking at one map and turning on and off data. And I think next we're going to talk through, John is going to talk through creating a dashboard.
Great. So dashboards. Now you'll access dashboards from that content tab and then choosing create like you would for both the web app builder and the story maps. And dashboards have been really popular lately, and they're really useful when you need to provide summary information or key metrics about a topic. For example, a dashboard that shows the number of active public works projects, or maybe summarizes the amount of trail mileage in a park or something, or even a timeline of inspections that have been completed. Anything that needs to be summarized and quickly reported out to an audience that doesn't need to know the details, that's when a dashboard is really useful. And configuring a dashboard to update regularly can really save you time by reducing the need to compile reports for managers or boards, commissions, or just the public, really. And so down below here, you see an example of an AGO dashboard that we've probably all seen at this point. And this is the Johns Hopkins COVID-19 dashboard. And I'm not going to demo this one, but I just want people to be aware that you probably already have access to the software that was used to build this dashboard. This is totally an AGO-based dashboard that you can access right from your content tab in AGO. So this is a very visible and widely known dashboard throughout the world, really, at this point. And this was built on AGO, the AGO dashboarding platform. Okay, so moving on from dashboards, let's talk a little bit about open data portals. This is another feature that AGO has, and once again, you're going to access it from the content tab and then the create button, but you're going to then choose sites. And when you choose sites, you'll have a couple of options, but for open data portals, you would choose this one, share open data, and then activate initiative. So a key thing to note is that AGO's open data portal is not just for GIS data. You can share any kind of data, and you can bring in any kind of data from any other open data portal. So a good example of this that cities and towns and other public agencies often use is, if they're spending a lot of time and effort responding to public information requests, open data portals can be a great place to just go ahead and store documents so they can simply point people to their location online, and that really helps save time and money. The public can quickly access and visualize some of this information as well, so it really helps increase the transparency of your organization. So now let's talk about the other option that you had under sites, which is a project site. And now it's really important to realize that these sites that AGO offers is really just a regular website. It's not all that different from any website you might put together through something like Squarespace or WordPress. And with any single AGO account, you can make as many of these sites with as many pages as you would like. There's no limit on the number of sites or pages you can create. They come with a really slick looking template, and you can drag and drop different types of content blocks. So narrative sections, embedded videos, images, maps, pretty much anything you could do on a website. And you can really make a nice looking site without any coding. But if you want to customize the branding or add more advanced features, you can do some coding within the template as well. So, this is being used more often if you have a specific initiative or project that you want to build a really quick site around. You don't necessarily need to go out and buy new software or purchase something like a Squarespace account. If you have an AGO account, you can do it right from there. And so Kate's going to talk a little bit about surveys with Survey 123.
Yes, so surveys, I know we said everything was on the content tab, but Survey 123 is not yet on the content tab, but you can still use your account if you're logged in to access it for free. So it's survey123 www.arcgis.com. And this will take you to a page that lets you set up surveys. It's very similar to other survey, web browser type options. It's really intuitive and easy to use. You can set up, they have lots of different question and answer types. You can preview it and share it with others in your organization. And then when you publish it, you can share it with anyone. And the cool thing about Survey 123 is that as the results are coming in, you can see them in real time. So that's really interesting. You get your data right away. So what it can be used for, because it has a spatial component to it, is you can have folks from your organization collecting data from mobile devices when they're out, in the field or out on the road, and collect, asset data or, potholes or anything that people might want to collect. The public could upload information to a public survey. So it's really helpful for integrating that data directly into your ArcGIS online content and being able to even show it on a map really quickly and share the surveys with the community in real time as they're being uploaded. So that's another really helpful tool that ArcGIS has that a lot of folks don't really know too much about. So we've gotten through the map viewers and web mapping applications and all of the tools, story maps, dashboards, data portals, websites, and surveys. So there's a lot in there. So I encourage folks to go to the content tab and definitely check out the tools that are in there. Once you've got content that you want to share, you can go to the sharing level of each of those content items and share them with your organization. So if you're just working on it, on your own and you don't want anyone to see it yet, when it's ready to show your organization, you can share it with them or you can share it with the public. And then you can send that link to anyone and they will have access to that tool and they can start to use it right away.
So this presentation is about saving money by using ArcGIS Online. So let's spend a couple minutes talking about pricing. If you have any ArcGIS license, you have a free AGO account, and you can access all of the tools and features we've shown today. If you have multiple desktop or Arc Pro licenses, you have multiple AGO licenses. If you don't have a Pro or an ArcGIS desktop license, an AGO creator license that gives you complete access and full access to the platform is $500 a year. So you can purchase additional seats for your AGO account as well. For example, if you have a crew in the field that needs to access a mapping application and maybe add or edit field data, you can purchase a seat specifically for that type of interaction for $350 per year. And if, say, you have managers or other people in your city or town that just maybe need access to some internal dashboards you've created or maybe just maps, and they just need to see the information, they can purchase what are called viewer licenses for $100 a year. Sometimes it can be a little challenging to figure out the exact right setup for what you need, how many creators, how many viewers. And so you might want to have a third party conduct a needs assessment to help figure out what the most effective and cost efficient setup would be for you and your organization. Okay, so let's say you've listened to this webinar and you say you want to go ahead and get started. So what do you need to do? Well, it's pretty simple. You just need to activate your account, assuming you already have an ArcGIS subscription. You just go ahead and you activate your account. You can upload data, and then start using it. You can create a web map, an application, or even a survey and share it with your organization or your community. And so it is, when you have that, it is very easy to do. But if you aren't comfortable just diving right in and want to be a bit more methodical, once again, you could consider hiring a third party to help sort of evaluate your specific situation and maybe write up a needs assessment to give you something of a map or a path forward to take some incremental steps to sort of achieve your goals. Okay, so that is the end of our presentation. So thank you very much. Once again, my name is John McKenzie. I'm a senior analyst with Flow Analytics, and I am joined by Kate Dorn, also a senior analyst with Flow Analytics. And you can see our contact information right here on this slide. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd be happy to respond.